Okay, so a while back I had done a video on my first impressions of the Gary Lane Freedom bit. That's this bit here. And I said I would get back to everyone when I had used the bit a couple of times and I had some more impressions of it. My first impressions were very favorable. And now I have used the bit on a couple of horses and I still like it. There are a couple things I would wish were different about it, but for the most part, it's still a very nice bit. I used it on a couple of non-gaited horses, and both of them really seemed to like it. So it's got this nice arched shape, lots of room for the tongue. It's got a very low port, which offers a little bit of relief for the tongue, but also too low of a port to hit anybody in the palate, so horses that have a low palate are going to like this bit. This center bushing also is a roller. When there's no pressure on the bit, the horse can roll this, and the copper wire gives it a good taste and a little bit of texture, so a horse with a busy mouth can play with this. The cheek pieces are a little unique. You have a separate ring for the headstall and the curb strap, and then a loop for the rein here. The way it's set up is actually kind of neat, and until I actually used the bit, I didn't realize that there was an actual reason for things to be set up this way. So the headstall ring sits forward more than the rein ring. And then you have the separate curb strap loop. Separating the headstall and the curb strap gets rid of the pinching that can sometimes happen if they're in the same ring, and it separates the two things so that the signals are clearer to the horse. So with it like this, with the headstall a little forward of the rein loop, when you pull on the rein, as soon as you touch the rein, your horse is going to feel some sort of vibration, pressure, signal on the headstall, which is going to give a little bit of pull pressure. So that's gonna be the first thing your horse is gonna feel. If you notice, the mouthpiece really isn't doing anything, it's just sitting there. Then the next thing that's gonna happen is your horse is gonna feel curb pressure, is the curb strap is going to tighten. Depending on if you have this adjusted fairly loosely, you're going to get the pull pressure first, then the curb pressure second, and then the mouthpiece is going to kick in. Now it happens, there's split seconds between these three things happening when you're pulling back on the reins, but still, if you have a very well-trained, responsive horse, that might be all you have to move your rein to get your horse to do something. So that I also like, and I think horses are going to like that too, because things are a little clearer and less chaotic, less muddy for their signals. What I don't like about it, it's a little heavy. It's a heavy bit. I feel some horses may not like to be packing something this heavy. This is a good, solid bit. Now, this is his original design. I know he has changed the design slightly in recent models, so maybe he has made it lighter. It sits a little oddly. I feel like there's always pressure. I don't want to say pressure, but the horse is always going to feel that bit in their mouth because of the weight. The other thing, I would wish that the mouthpiece was a little bit thinner. I have worked with a lot of horses, most of them who have had very little room in their mouth for a bit. And so for them, the thinner the mouthpiece, the more comfortable it is for them to pack. So I feel like if this was just a hair thinner, maybe just a couple millimeters thinner on the side pieces, the cannons of the mouthpiece, it would be a little more comfortable for some horses with not a lot of room in their mouths. But all in all, I still like the bit a lot. I'm very glad that I got it, and I think this is a really nice bit that a lot of horses would do very well in.